Hi guys, welcome back to the 100 question series. Those who are new, I want to tell you guys that we are doing this 100 question series based on the previous 5 lectures that I uploaded. So that includes the following topics: prints, output or variables, data types, loops, conditional statements, and arrays, strings, and I think only these topics. Apart from that, we have several topics left for Java programming, so I'm thinking for those topics I'll bring another 100 question series. So guys, we'll practice more than like 500 questions in Java itself, and only without any like external sites. So if you want to practice on various sites, you can use HackerRank, CodeStop, LeetCode, etc. So before starting practicing on those sites, we are going to practice more than 500 questions in these lecture series only. And all the questions are very important. For those who are beginners, I hope you did watch the previous video in which we solved the first 10 questions, and today we are going to solve the next 10 questions. And for those who are here for practice, I'll attach the rebel link in the description. You can view these questions itself. For now, I've added beginner level and inter level. I'm yet to add the advanced level questions, which are basically the questions from question number 57 to question number 100 are all advanced level questions, which I'm yet to add. And those who are beginners, don't worry, you'll be able to do all these questions in no time. We are doing just 10 questions a day. Just keep up with that and you'll be a pro in no time. So without any further delay, let's just start. In the last video, we finished at question number 10, which was printing the first 10 natural numbers using a for loop. Now we are going to do the same using a while loop. So int I is equal to 1. We discussed the syntax in the previous video. Loops was, I think, lecture 3. So you can check it out. I have made a playlist for Java programming, so you can check it out in that. So int I is equal to 1. First we have to declare a variable I, then we start the loop, while loop, and then we specify the condition. The condition is I is less than equal to 10, y less than equal to and not less than. We discuss the same reason as for loop, that we have to print till 10. 10 has to be included. Then we'll print I system.out.print ln, and then I, and then I plus plus. So before running the code, let's do a dry run of the code. So first my I is equal to 1, right? The value of I is 1. So while I is less than equal to 10, what does while loop do? It keeps running till my condition is satisfied. So I is less than equal to 10. Yes, 1 is less than or equal to 10. Yes, so system.out.println. So 1 will be printed. Then I plus plus. So I is equal to I plus 1. So 1 plus 1, which is 2. So now my I is 2. So now I is 2. The condition is satisfied. It will print 2, and so on. Okay, now what will happen if instead of writing I plus plus here, I write I plus plus here? It will start with 2. Why did this happen? Now let's do a dry run of this code. I is equal to 1, it's less than equal to 10. So right now the value of I is 1. Now I is equal to I plus 1. So my value turned to 2 before we could print 1. So that's why it started with 10. Same with when the last final condition comes. So I is less than, the value of I will now be 10. I is less than or equal to 10, yes. Then I is equal to I plus 1, which means I is 10 plus 1. So the value of I will now be 11, and that's why it prints 2 to 11. So I hope that's clear. Moving on to the next question. Let me just correct this code. So this is the correct code. Alright, moving on to the next question. Write a Java program to print the first 10 natural numbers using a do while loop. So do while loop is actually quite similar to the while loop. So int I is equal to 1. Then we start with the do while loop. Do system.print out system.out.println So sorry guys, I'm having a bit of a cold. I think that's affecting it. So sorry. And then I, and then I plus plus, and then semicolon. So this is do. Now we add the condition while. What's the condition? The condition we had in the previous while loop. Same condition. We'll do a dry run for this also. And then so why, okay, so sorry guys, Java is case sensitive. As you can see, we have printed 10 natural numbers using all three loops: for loops, while loop, and do while loop. So let's do a dry run for this. Int I is equal to 1. So the value of I is 1 right now. Then do. What to do? System.out.println. We have to print I, and then I is equal to I plus 1. So the condition is being satisfied. Now what's the difference between while loop and do while loop, right? Now if I have while loop, let's okie dokie, and let's do this J and J. Alright, so we have our while loop here and we have our do while loop here. Let's see if both the loops are running. They are running. So now what's the difference if the condition is not satisfied? Okay, let's do this. I is greater than equal to. Same here, J is greater than equal to. So this one is it for while loop or do while loop? Let's eliminate while loop for now. Guys, understand this, okay? This is very important, the difference between while loop and do while loop. Okay, now if I run it, it's only the do while loop. We still are getting 1. However, now if I comment this out and run the while loop, although it's correct, nothing will be printed. See, the code has run, it's correct, but did it print anything? No, because if the condition is not being satisfied here, what is it doing? It's checking the condition first and then printing. But what's do while loop doing? It's printing first, then checking the condition later. So that's why when I run the do while loop, when the condition is not being satisfied, it's running, it's at least running once. But however, while loop at the same time, it's not running even once if the condition is not being satisfied. Hope that's clear. Next question, write a Java program to concatenate 2 strings. This is very easy. Let's just name 2 strings. String str1 is equal to hello. The next, string str2 is equal to hello world. So we are basically trying to print hello world. Then system.out.println str1 plus str2. Hello world, and we can also add space in between. Oops, sorry. Done. Hello world. So this is how we can concatenate 2 strings. Moving on, write a Java program to find the length of the string. Let's take the string hello only. Let's remove this. We'll comment this out. Wait. So now we have the string hello. If we have to find the length of hello, we discussed various string methods in one of our videos. So we know that if we want to find the length, we can simply, let's declare a variable int length is equal to str1.length, which is one of the string methods. It's that easy to find the length of a string if you want to. and then system.out.print length. So 5, 1 2 3 4 5, so it's correct. Length of the string is 5. Now note that what's the difference between length and index? Length is the number of characters in that string. So 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, and total 5 characters. However, index is the location of that character in the string. So H is at 0th index, then E is at first index, second index, third index, 4 index. So our index varies from 0 to 4, while the length of the string is 5. Okay. Now write a Java program to convert a string to uppercase. Again, we learned it in one of the methods. str.1 to uppercase was another method. Case. That's it, guys. This was the method. Why is it showing an error? str.1 to uppercase. Oh, print. Oh, but the variable is that only. Anyways, we'll change this. Oh, it's not string. It's not int. It's gonna be string. So let's declare a variable string uppercase. So now let's print this variable string uppercase. Okay, so now let's print it. As you can see, we have got our hello in uppercase. Now same can be done for lowercase. We just have to write lower instead of upper. Now write a Java program to declare an array of the next question is write a Java program to declare an array of 5 integers and print its elements. So we learned how to declare arrays, right? Let's do that. Guys, I recommend you pause and try the questions yourselves before seeing the solution, or you at least run the code along with me. So now let's declare an array. Let's say int how do we declare an array? We first write the data type, then the square brackets, and then let's say any number, my array, and then that how do we assign the values? We simply use curly braces and then 1 2 3 4 5, perfect, and then semicolon. So now we have declared an array. Int my array is equal to this. What do we need to do? We just need to print all its elements. Now to print all the elements, we discussed about looping through an array. Now we can either use for each loop or we can use for loop. So let's do it with for loop. I personally find it better because we use it anyway. For each is a specific loop for an array. There's nothing difficult in that, but let's just try it with for loop. So let's say for int I is equal to 0. What is I here? I is my index. Okay, int I is equal to 0, then I should be less than my array dot length, because if I is greater than my array dot length will give me the length of the array. So if I is greater than the length, there's no need of printing it, right? And then I plus plus. Moving on, what do we need to do? So what will happen if I just print I? You have already seen it, but okay. What will happen if I just print I? It will give me the index. So instead of printing the values 1 2 3 4 5, it's giving me the index of each value. That's 0 1 2 3 4. We discussed the index in strings. It's pretty much similar. So 1 is at the 0th index, 2 is at 1. So it's giving me the index. Now we discussed in the array videos that if we want to print the value, we need to write my array and then square brackets and then the index value. So if I just, let's comment this out for a while. And now if I only print 0 index, it will give me 1. If I print first index, it will give me 2. Similarly, third index will give me 4, and the last fourth index will give me 5. So this is how indexing in an array works. Now let's remove the comments and let's see if we get our array using for loop. 1 2 3 4 5, this is our array. Okay, next question is, write a Java program to find the largest element in an array. Now how do we do this? The easiest way to do this is, let's say we have this array only. Okay, so let's declare we can choose a largest element on our own. So let's say that the first element is the largest element. The first element here is 1. So how do we say that 1 is the largest? We use indexing. Let basically my array. So first let's declare a variable. Let's say largest only. So int largest is equal to, that will be my array 0. We are just assuming this, okay? We have you can give this variable any name you want. It's not necessarily the largest value, so we can give this variable any name we want. So basically we are using a variable and assigning the first value of the array to that variable. Okay, now how to find the largest? So for now this 1 is the largest, so let's go through the entire array. The next number is 2, that is greater than 1. So we are basically checking if the next element of the array is greater than the current element that we have assigned the value, largest value to. So if the next element is greater, then the new largest will be the next element, and so on. Getting it? So first we'll declare this, then to go through the entire loop, array, we'll start a for loop. So for int I is equal to 1. Why 1 here? Why not 0? Because 0th index is itself the largest number, right? Then I is less than, of course, my array dot length, right? And then I plus plus. Given this, okay, now we have declared the for loop. Now if, as we discussed, that if the next element is greater than the largest, so basically while we are traversing through the entire array, if we find at any index the value is greater than the largest, that is 1. So if we find that, then the largest value will be my array dot I. If not, then we have already declared the largest element, so we don't need to write else here, because if this is not true, then we have already declared the largest element, and if we print the largest, it will print that only, and we need to print it outside the loop, otherwise it will print. We'll see the difference, what will happen if we write this line inside the loop also. We'll see the difference. Okay, so we need to print largest. Now yeah, let's do this. Sorry, semicolon. Let's do this. As you can see, the largest element is 5. Let's write some random elements. Let's check now. The largest element is 10. So this is how it works. Now what will happen if I write this instead of here? If I write this here, it's printing all the values that it's checking, because we have written this. Let's do a dry run of this code. So right now int largest is equal to 1. So int I is 1, that means the indexing is 1, that means my array dot I is right now 2. Okay, I is less than 1, I is equal to 1, it's less than the length, I plus plus. Now my array I is right now 1. That means 2 is greater than largest. Yes, it's greater than largest. So largest is equal to my array. So my new largest is 2 now. Then we are just printing the largest, right? Now if after printing the largest we repeat this again for 3. This happens if I write this line system.out.print or largest line inside the loop. Since I'm writing it inside the loop, it's part of the loop. So loop is used to do something repeatedly. So it's also printing the largest value repeatedly. So right now, when we have only discussed about these two elements, the largest value is 2. When we discuss about these two elements, the largest element is 3, and so on. So that's why it's printing. As you can see, when 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 7, 10, when it comes here, the largest element is 7. So first it was for this, the largest element is 7. Now it was for this, the largest element is again 7. That's why it printed 7 twice. So that's why we don't want to keep this in the loop, because we just want the value of largest element. We don't want the value of all the largest elements, right? So 10. Next question number 18. Write a Java program to find the smallest element in the array. Same procedure goes, just we need to change the sign. And let's name it smallest, because why not? And lastly, smallest, and last we need to print smallest too. So now let's run this. 0 is the smallest element. It has been printed. Alright. So question number 18 is done. Now 19th is write a Java program to find the square of a number. It's actually quite simple. Let's first declare a number. How do we find the square? We basically multiply the number by itself, right? So let's declare a number. Int my num is equal to 10. Int square is equal to my num into my num. System.out.print square. 100, if we change the value 5, it will give us 25. Then 7, it will give us 49. Quite simple. Then the next question is to find the 20th question, find the cube of a number. Again, let's do it into my num. Well, it's cube, we'll change that also. The variable you can see we are getting the right answer. So it's actually very simple. This is just basic maths, guys. We are just putting it in a syntax. We know the logic behind it. We are just putting it in the syntax. So, well, now we have completed the 20 questions from the 100 series questions. I hope you guys are enjoying it. I hope you guys are understanding it. For beginners, it's a very good thing to first actually solve the basic problems yourself. Even for people who are just here to revise, it would be better if you also revise the beginning concepts, the beginner questions, because why not? So again, those who want to practice for themselves, I'll attach the Replit link in the description box. Thank you for watching. See you next time, where we'll do the next 10 questions. Thank you. Oh, sorry.